Weaver has the floor. Have you made your statement? And Representative Hubbard?
Follow up. And I've heard that one of the concerns with this particular piece of legislation is that in other places, other states that require staff privileges, that has shut down many of these clinics. And I want to be clear, I'm all for holding these clinics to the standards that we hold ambulatory care centers to. But, you know, are there circumstances under which a physician could have a contract with a physician who has staff privileges? Under this bill, would it provide for that?
If a part of a call group?
Yes.
Yes, or the model that I'm familiar with, they could work with a different group to provide all coverage more than at the hospital. But again, it's all about patient safety issue.
The bill we passed last session, Mr. Chairman, I believe out of the House, addressed this particular issue. And my only question is whether this bill addresses that issue in the same way as it did last session. That's
You certainly have the floor. Speak up just a little bit,
When
please.
they go through medical staff credentialing, when they go through medical staff credentialing, they have this checklist of things that they have to provide to the hospital to be a part of the coverage there at the hospital. And again, what this does is, if any of their patients have a complication, it allows them to work with that hospital. And it's not saying that they have to be the doctor that is there to see them 24/7, but they have to be a part of a group that would be able to take care of the patient if they have staff privileges at the hospital.
part of a group or have a contractual relationship?
Have a relationship with someone, because I have doctors now that are not a part of the same group, but they have a contractual relationship and an agreement to be a part of their call group.
Okay, so and Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry for this last question. I'm just trying to clear this up in my mind. I remember the debate last session, and I anticipate a similar debate once we get to the floor of the House. So my question is, if there is a physician who is, let's say he's an out-of-state, I think Representative McClurkin, you told me there are out-of-state physicians who come in to perform these procedures. If this out-of-state physician can't meet the requirements of staffing privileges, can he contract with a local physician who does meet those requirements and still satisfy the intent of this bill?
I don't know.
I think that's a
No.
question.
No.
Okay. All right, Mr. Chairman, I'll defer that line of questioning for the
Representative Henry, did you have something? No. Got it done. Now, here's where we are on our public hearing. We've got on one side of the balance sheet, we've got 5 folks, and on the other side, we've got 15. Now, if we have 15 opponents of this bill, your time will be pretty short. How about if I give you all a few minutes? Maybe you can get your heads together and consolidate this list, or if you would prefer to have just a short opportunity. I mean, we're talking about a minute or something, or a minute and a half at the most, to make your point. And of course, I always ask that you avoid redundancy. We don't need the same statement over and over and over again. We're seeking information on this issue. So I got one negative shake of the head to that suggestion. And if I don't get any more acknowledgments from that, then what we'll do, the proponents of the bill, the supporters of the bill, will have a little bit more time each than the opponents of the bill, just because there's so many opponents that have signed up for the bill. So with that being said, you think you can get your point made in a minute or a minute and a half?
No.
No.
Well, I suggest you work on that, because that's going to be the timer that Mary Ruth has. I'll say a minute and a half. You've got 15 of you want to talk, and I would be surprised if there's not some redundancy in there, and that's just what I'm trying to avoid. We hear same thing over and over again. Mary Ruth, would you call the first person on the opponent side of this? Minute and a half.
And I'll give a 15-second warning when there's 15 seconds left. The first opponent would be Gloria Gray.
Gloria, welcome to the Health Committee.
There's a lot of opposition to this bill, so I'm not sure how I can limit my speech to you in a minute and a half. But I have a couple people who said that they were willing to forego theirs. Good morning and thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Gloria Gray and I'm the director of West Alabama Women's Center that's located in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I am an independent abortion provider. The vast majority of the abortion care in the state of Alabama is provided by our independent clinics, and we're all here today. We're all represented.
Are you a physician?
No, I am not. I am the clinic administrator.
Okay.
The bill that we're discussing here today, the House Bill 57, Women's Health and Safety Act, has absolutely nothing to do with the purpose of making it safer for women's health. The purpose of this bill was written to shut down all of the clinics in the state of Alabama. And this bill was taken from a template that is available on the network, the internet, from a pro-life group called Americans United for Life.
15 seconds left.
Okay, there's no way we can get our point across in that. This is safe. This is a very safe procedure. What we did in 2002, we were here for this same reason, abortion safety. We passed the Woman's Right to Know Act. The state is spending thousands of dollars, as it currently is, in mandated literature that we are required to give to patients. Patients don't want this literature. They're taking it and throwing it in the trash before they ever leave the clinic. They're taking it or leaving it in the waiting room. Nothing has changed as far as health care since 2002, yet we're here making more laws.
Let me interrupt you. Now, you said you had a couple of people that would willingly be deleted from this list?
Yes.
And who are they?
One was,
I need names.
Razel Riemann.
Say that again.
Razel Riemann. I'm on the first state number 7 or so.
You will speak or not?
Roselle, okay.
Amy Shadowin. Second page.
Any more volunteers?
Julie Seals, second page.
You just picked up 3 minutes.
okay, as I said, the ultimate aim of this bill is to make the visions of abortion services so difficult that the number of health care facilities offering them and the number of women who can afford to have them will fail. There's no medical justification whatsoever in this bill, none. The bill targets regulatory standards of architectural structure, equipment, and staffing that are totally unnecessary and cannot be met by the clinics. How does requiring a 6-foot hallway make it safer for a woman to have an abortion? How does requiring an anesthesiologist make it safer when you don't put patients to sleep or give them heavy sedation? There is no health crisis justifying this bill. This bill will not make it safer because it's already safe. It's the safest surgical procedure in the country. Banning abortions like this, that by promoting policies that's unattainable, it's bad policy. It's bad for the state of Alabama. Our clinics are currently regulated by CLIA, HIPAA, OSHA, and we voluntarily belong to the National Abortion Federation. And the reason we belong to that is because we want to maintain the national highest standards set by the medical community and not by government. We're also governed by the Alabama Department of Public Health. And the items that is in this bill are in our current regulations pertaining to patient safety. The part that we cannot meet as providers is the architectural structure of these requirements that's in this bill. It will shut down every clinic in Alabama. And let me back up just a little bit and say, as far as us being governed by the Board of Health, I opened my clinic in 1993, and since that time, the health department has closed 4 clinics because they did not meet the standard of care for abortion clinics. And I think that's pretty strong monitoring of the current regulations of patient safety. Trying to cut out some of
You
the
have
things.
15 more seconds. 15 more.
It will put the clinics out of business. It will take away a woman's right to choose. And as you know, that's unconstitutional. And if this bill is passed, it could cost the state of Alabama thousands of dollars. Because by it being unconstitutional, of course, we will have no choice but to fight it. And it's not because our attorneys can win back attorney fees, but look at all the money that's spent by this legislative body using all the resources of writing and rewriting these bills, the staff time in committee meetings, and this is not how our taxpayers want their money spent. Women should be trusted to make their own decisions in this matter. I know that women do not take this subject lightly because I have talked with them and I have held their hands for the last 20 years. And I ask you to trust women to make this decision involving their medical doctor and not government, and to vote no on this bill.
Thank you, ma'am. And on the proponent side, Mary Ruth?